Hey guys.
Oh, hey! It's both of us, Miss McCall and Miss Townsend, in one video.
So great.
We didn't want you to be lonely without us, so we brought both of us to you.
Yes, here we are teaching you about distributive property with fractions. So we are going to start with number 1, and we need to start by distributing in that 2/3 to both the 9n and to that -12. Remember, we're kind of attaching the negative sign on like if you boxed your terms. So we're going to do 2/3.
I love the little lines to make sure I don't
Times-
forget.
I know, yeah, that's the best. So you don't lose anything. So 2/3 times 9n. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you need to make sure that they both look like fractions, so no whole numbers, no mixed numbers. So I'm kind of going to try to do my work off to the side and hopefully fit it all in here. So if I have 2/3 times 9/1, I would cross simplify. So this 3 is divisible by 3, which is 1. 9 is divisible by 3, which is 3. And then I can multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And that just gives me 6.
So my answer for that one's just 6, right, Miss McCall?
So we don't want to forget that last name, right? He
right.
was the n family, so he still has to be in the n family. Don't lose that variable.
So 6n. Got it.
6n. Then we're going to take the 2/3 times this -12.
The -12. Okay, so 2/3 times -12.
So 2/3 times, again, I'm going to make it 12/1. Okay, I would again cross simplify, so this 3 and 12 have a 3 in common. 3 becomes 1, 12 becomes 4, and then I can multiply across again and get 8/1, which is 8.
But a negative times a positive gives us that negative, so that's going to go in between.
So my answer ends up being 6n minus 8.
But why can't we combine those?
So they're in two different families. One's the n family and one's the constant family. So I can't combine them since I don't know what
got
n
it.
is. I can't do anything.
So when I distribute and then there's nothing else to combine, then I'm all done.
Yep.
Got it.
And for this one, if you did put 6n plus -8, that's totally the same thing. That would be acceptable.
Could you switch it around? Like, what if I put the 8 first?
As long as you remember that negative sign, so like you could have -8
Got
plus
it.
6n.
Oh, that's because
That
of the
would be okay.
commutative property. It allows me to switch it around.
Yeah, totally. But just don't forget that with your terms, you got to attach those symbols.
Got it.
Okay. All right, so let's go to number 2.
So I got that funny, you've got that funny -3 there at the end. So I understand we're going to have to distribute. I see that with the 1/2 k. But then that -3, what are we going to do with that?
So remember when we distribute, it's only to like everybody inside the house. So that -3 we are going to have to use, but we're not going to distribute to it. We're just going to kind of save him for after we distribute.
Got it.
Okay, so we're going to do the 1/2 k times this -8k.
Okay.
Okay, good one. So 1/2 times 8/1. Okay, again, cross simplify.
Ooh, we're doing blue now.
Ooh, yeah. Gotta switch it up. So these both have a 2 in common. 2 becomes 1, 8 becomes 4. And then again, multiply straight across 4/1, which is just 4. So I'm getting 4.
Well, but it was a -8, so it should be a -4, right?
Right, because it was positive times negative.
Right. And then the k's, we have a k times a k.
Yes. K
So that's
times
going to
K.
be k squared, right?
That is correct, yes.
So -4k squared.
Okay. There it is again. All right. So now we're going to distribute that 1/2 into the -6. Remember, we're attaching
it.
that on. So 1/2 times 6/1. Cross simplify again. This becomes a 1 and a 3. Multiply across. And we get 3/1 or 3.
But again, it's a -6, so it's going to be -3. And then it was a k times a constant, so there wasn't another variable, so it's just going to be -3k. And then we've got to bring down that -3.
Yes, totally. So just going to bring down
And then
minus
you got to
3.
check and make sure that there isn't anything to combine. So remember, to combine, they have to have the same variable with the same exponents.
Yep.
So the k squared can't be combined with the k because they have one has an exponent and one doesn't.
And then you have your constant.
And then you have your
family.
constant.
So again, you could totally rearrange these and have them in a different order as long as you're remembering to attach those negative signs on. But otherwise, that is all we can do. And there would be our answer.
I like it. Good
Okay.
job, Miss McCall.
Thanks. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try number 3 on your own. And then when you're done, come back to number 4. We'll have you check the key at the end, and we'll do number 4 with you. So do 3, and then come back and we'll do 4. Okay, here we are at number 4.
So this one's like the one, that envelope question on the homework the other night.
That's right. Yes, we're finding perimeter for this one. So I can just like line this up and add and add and add and add and add and add.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That sounds awful. So is there an easier way I could write it?
Probably. I think because there's 2 of them really, because remember the other side is going to be the same because they're congruent. So really we could use the distributive property and do it with a 2 on the outside times the 7/10 p plus 2. Close it and then add to that, since there's 2 again, 2 parentheses 3/10 p plus 1. If they were all the same, we could do it times 4. But since the 2 opposite sides, it's a rectangle, we can't do that.
Yeah. This looks way prettier than listing them all out.
And I would get so confused.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of terms to box. Okay, so now we can distribute.
Totally.
So this 2 into the 7/10. Let's see, I'm going to try to do my work over here.
But you do the same thing like Miss McCall is doing on yours. Like put it to the side on your paper and make sure that you're actually doing that computation piece, whether it's the fractions or the decimals. Just put it out to the side to just make sure you've got that math piece.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cross simplify these. So this becomes a 1 and a 5. Multiply across, I'm getting 7/5. We probably do want to go ahead and simplify that. So 5 comes out of 7 one time with 2 left over. So 1 and 2/5. They were both positive, so 1 and 2/5 p. Okay.
Well, actually,
Did I do something wrong?
no, I think you're good.
Okay, great. So then I'm going to distribute the 2 into the 2. And 2 times 2 is 4.
That was easy.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and distribute over here as well. So 2 times 3/10. It is a plus 2 here, right here. So that's why I don't need to think about it being negative or anything. I'm going to do this as a positive 2. So 2 over 1 times 3 over 10. And I'm going to cross simplify again. This becomes a 1 and a 5. That is 3/5.
Yep.
Okay. So plus 3/5 p, and then distribute my 2 into my 1, and 2 times 1 is 2.
So I like that you have all these different colors, which is all the parts, but we got to combine our like terms now. So we got to see which ones are like terms.
Yes,
So
yes,
the
yes.
ones with the P's are going to be our like terms. So the 1 and
I'm going to just box them up real quick.
Bop, bop, train it up, bop, bop, choo, choo.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for. That's why I invited you to this video.
That was it.
Okay, so yes, I agree. Our P family, we're going to put those together. So 1 and 2/5 P plus 3/5 P. I love that they already have common denominators. Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Love when that happens. And then also my constant family, so 4 and 2. Okay, and then we're just going to simplify those. So 1 and 2/5 plus 3/5. If you need to do it off to the side, that's fine. But our fractions combine. I get 1 whole and 5/5.
That's easy. That equals 2.
Great. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't leave it like that. That looks a little bit silly. So let's change that to 2p plus, and then I have 4 plus 2, which is 6. So my final answer is 2p plus 6. What a pretty answer for such an awful looking problem at the beginning.
Right, and that's why simplifying it makes so much more sense.
Yes.
I would much rather know what p is, plug it into 2p plus 6 instead of the fractions.
All right, I want you to go ahead and pause the video again, do number 5 on your own, and when you're done, come back to 6. Again, we'll check the key later for all the ones that I'm kind of skipping over. Okay, so number 6, this one looks like a beast.
We can do it though, because
we can.
really, I see 2 sets of parentheses, and so we got 2 things to distribute, and then we'll combine. We totally can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's do this 1/2 times 4x, and I'm going to try to get all this work squeezed in over here. So 1/2 times 4 over 1. We can cross simplify right here. Make that a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that makes it
And
way
that's
easier.
2 over 1 or just 2. So I'm getting 2. Don't forget
your x, James.
Okay, then we're going to do this 1/2 times 2y. It's a plus 2y, so positive 2. So 1/2 times 2 over 1. Cross simplify that. Those both become 1s. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Okay, we get 1. So plus 1y. I'm not even going to put the 1. I'm just going to put y. If you want to put the 1, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But remember, we have that invisible co-pilot with them. So then let's do this 1/3 times 12x. Again, it's a plus 1/3, so I don't have to think negatives. So 1/3 times 12 over 1. Cross simplify here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And multiply across, we get 4. So plus 4x.
It is kind of nice how it cleans out the fractions. Because then that way we're now to whole numbers, and that's way easier to combine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we gotta finish distributing this 1/3 times 6, but remember this minus 6, we're kind of treating that like a negative 6. So 1/3 times 6 over 1, cross simplify. 3 becomes a 1, the 6 becomes a 2, and when I multiply across, I get my whole number 2. So, but it is a positive times a negative, so this time I'm going to say minus 2.
Yep.
And then we can't forget this plus 5 here at the end, so we're just going to basically drop him down. Don't forget to keep his sign, so it's still plus 5.
Yep. Now all we have to do is combine like terms. So we distributed it. I always say you got to hand out all the tickets, and then you got to train it up.
That's cute. Train tickets, get it? I get it.
I'm proud of you. Good job, Miss McCall.
Well, thanks.
So it looks like we can combine the x's. We've got 2x plus 4x. Nothing can be really combined with the y, so then just plus y. And then we have our two constants, so minus 2 plus 5. Yep.
Check.
Check, check. So 2x plus 4x gives us 6x. And then plus y, don't forget it. And then negative 2 plus 5, or minus 2 plus 5, gives us plus 3. And again, the order doesn't officially matter. I like to put my constants at the end, but we should be good to go.
Me too.
So go ahead and do number 7 and 8, and then check the key.
Bye.
Bye!